Hey friends, this is Indra, and just checking in quickly to let all of you know that the audio on this episode got a little messed up, so you might hear some extra pops and echoes here and there. We're still trying to figure out how to best record ourselves in our own homes while we are social distancing, and we hope to have it figured out by the next time we record. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy this episode, pops, echoes, and all. Thanks for listening. Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back to yet another edition of Family Karma Cast.
Yay.
I am Indra.
I'm Deanna Bianco.
Should I say my full name?
Yeah.
I'm Indra Raj.
Oh, fuck yeah, represent.
Hey.
Hey.
What's your middle name?
Marie.
Oh.
So, not to brag, but my initials are DMB. When Dave Matthews Band started getting popular and all of those circular white and black DMB stickers were everywhere.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, I appreciated it.
Yeah, you were like, that's me.
I was like, yeah,
that's me. That's like my initials are like one of the common three letters you'll see at the end of a Colorado license plate if you just get the basic version.
Really? Is it a part of yours?
No, it's not. I didn't get lucky, I guess, in that lottery, but whatever.
I feel like you and I haven't talked today because...
yeah, we're waiting for this.
It's so pathetic, but there's Indra and I talk a lot, we text a lot through the week, and then there's radio silence usually after a family karma cast.
Yeah, we're we cannot say anything to each other.
It's understood that it's a trigger if we even say hi.
Yeah.
To talk about family karma cast.
Yeah, it's totally, we can't do it, so.
No.
We're excited to talk about it.
So how have you been?
Well, so everything is crazy right now. The quarantine is insane. And I just heard that Boulder is doing full stay at home as of tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Oh, I heard the opposite.
You did?
I heard they're keeping the liquor stores and the dispensaries open.
They're keeping the liquor stores open?
The dispensaries.
Well, the dispensaries, I guess there's the medical marijuana thing, but
oh yeah. Well,
the liquor stores is people just want to have access to alcohol while they're sitting at home all day.
And speaking of, I told Indra I'm on my second vodka soda right now. So.
And I am not drinking, and let me tell you why. Because so I had a sinus infection forever, and then I finally broke down and I took these antibiotics, which I really didn't want to take because I hate taking antibiotics. But I took them because there was nothing else I could do. And then I was finally starting to feel better, and I finished the course on Saturday morning, and then Saturday night I broke out in a huge rash all over my entire body.
Why?
And I still have it. It's better now, but I talked to Patrick's sister, who's a doctor, and she was it's most likely a reaction to the antibiotics, and you're just gonna have to
you're going through withdrawal.
No, I think maybe by the end it had built up enough in my system to irritate me. I don't know. Who knows why these things are triggered, but anyway, I have a full body rash that is disgusting. It's on my face.
Oh,
and
I'm so
never
sorry.
have I been so glad to be social distancing as I am now. I'm I don't want anyone to see me like this.
No. I just sent you an article, a Vice article about that a lot, I guess celebrities are getting facelifts now. So, now's the time to have a rash.
That's actually really, really smart. Wait, does that mean the whole Family Karma cast is probably changing their faces as we speak?
I don't know. I watched the episode. I have to say, I'm in charge of Twitter, and I'm usually live tweeting, but last night I just kind of had to take a melatonin and pass out at 10 p.m. because the weekend it's a lot. It's every day's Groundhog Day with my life and kids and what have you.
You started homeschooling today.
Oh yeah. Like today we did a schedule. My son did two online
Oh my
courses, video
God.
online courses with
And did you have
Zoom.
to like sit there through the whole thing?
No, I set him up and put headphones on and I was like, fucking have fun. And like the crazy thing right now is I'm not sure if there's other writers out there, but I write for a lot of like news websites and my workload right now is
Is it
insane.
all like COVID-19 stuff?
Yeah, yeah, and it's very heavy because I'm writing only about this subject, and so it's a lot of interviewing people that are in terrible situations.
Yeah.
Situations where I know a lot of us listening are kind of playing our little violin, but when you're talking to these people that are in such worse situations than I am, I can say that it really puts perspective
It
on
makes
it.
me feel like such an asshole for complaining about my
No,
rash.
no. I mean, we're all going through it. I'm trying to figure out. I have a sheet over me again, and it's like one of those like remember those like colored cloths or those big
Oh,
sheets when you're a
yeah.
kid and you like
You
that that's what it's like because I don't know how to like position it with like my vodka
I know.
sodas.
I spent legitimately like 10 minutes trying to get this comforter the way I wanted it. We're recording under blankets in the comfort of our own
I once
homes because we
again
don't have
and
our own like
uh
great studio setups.
we don't have our studio because we can't go into the studio because of
Yeah,
coronavirus.
it's
Today I was like realizing like I've been, again, I'm a runner, but I've been fucking running. Like, I'm fucking Forrest Gump these days. Like, literally, it's always like, that shot, and I know I put down Forrest Gump
yeah,
before
you
on this
totally did.
podcast, but it's like him. Is it when his mom dies, he puts on his running
Yes,
shoes
and
and
he
he goes
runs
like
across
down?
the country.
So that's me every day. That's like me every day. Like everyone's like on my street is like waves at me and is like, oh, there she goes. And granted, like usually I run like 3 to 4 times a week, but I also do kickboxing and my kickboxing, I sound like really all workouty right now, but my kickboxing class is no more because the gym is closed. So I run now 7 days a week
No, you got to.
and I have to because life just feels very
Dude,
intense. And what kind of light stuff have you been doing?
I don't even know. I feel like every day I'm just like, I wish my shit was together. I wish I didn't look like a old hag because I'm like not getting out of sweatpants and
I doubt that. For everyone who hasn't seen Indra, she's a
oh
gorgeous
whatever.
woman.
I mean the reality is I have a 7 month no, he's gonna be 8 months on Friday.
Oh
My
my
birthday's on
gosh.
Friday. Woo woo
What do you want
woo.
to do, girl?
I don't know, sit in my house.
I know.
I'm going to drink a whole bottle of wine.
I
That's what's
know.
going to happen.
Can I walk over to your house and wave at you and just like
Absolutely.
sit in a lawn
You
chair and
know
we can
what?
just
We
talk?
should sit in my backyard and
Yeah.
have some wine because that's the other thing is being on the antibiotics and on Benadryl now for my rash. I haven't been able to have a drink in like 2 weeks. So, I just want a beer. I just want to fucking chill, you
I'll
know?
I'll totally come over. Are people gonna write into us, familykarmacast@gmail.com,
Yeah.
that this is bad? If we're 6 feet apart?
No, I mean, we can, like, I have a big yard. We can sit like 100 feet apart if we need to.
Indra, can I say
Yeah.
something? Okay, so I don't smoke pot anymore or like do cannabis, but I've been so jealous of pot smokers
Oh
lately.
my God, they can just while away the whole day. But, like, you
They
can't be high with your kids. Like, what are you going to
No,
do?
no, but I kind of wish like I had that outlet. So again, I am Forrest Gump, so I use that outlet, but I'm so jealous of like because not everyone in Boulder, like not everyone, but like so many people I've been texting with and they're like, oh, gonna hit the dispensary after the kids go to bed. And I'm like, dude, especially in coronavirus, if I even ate like a little bit of an edible, you would find me underneath a desk with the sheet. Like basically right now what I'm doing, but without doing a podcast, I'm like more anxious.
And like an entire bag of chips or something.
I know. And like a sleeve of Oreos just like halfway out of my mouth. I look like a dragon with just Oreos coming out.
I feel like this whole thing has caused me to just like stress eat all day because like I went and got all this food at the grocery store.
What's your go-to? I want to hear your go-to now.
My go-to is like, okay, so I did eat a bunch of beef jerky.
Oh shit, girl!
But then I ate all the beef.
What kind? What kind?
Country
though?
Archer, the one and only.
Is that like a flavor?
No, that's the brand. That's the brand.
It's like a specific taste of like when an archer kills the animal.
Oh no, it's just the brand, original flavor. But then
does it have like the picture of the animal on it? Because I've seen that at King Soopers.
I don't know. It's really expensive though, so I didn't buy too much of it, and I ate all of that. But I bought like 20 different kinds of cheese. So every once in a while,
what's the go-to?
Well, you know, you always have to have some good cheddar, some good Vermont cheddar, extra sharp. But then also,
you just saying that because of Patrick?
No, I am, but I also am a believer. If you haven't had real like sharp Vermont cheddar, Cabot cheddar, you are missing out on something. Just go.
So my thing about cheddar is like, why would you not get sharp cheddar?
I know. What?
Does that make sense?
I totally get it. It's like otherwise it doesn't taste like anything.
I'm like, if you're gonna go for which cheddar is my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Manchego. It's either Manchego or cheddar.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do the cheddar, it's not gonna. You're right. It's not gonna have flavor.
No, you got to do extra sharp. Seriously sharp.
Oh, what's your second? Okay, what's your second go-to?
I don't know. What's your go-to? Have you been stress eating? Maybe it's just me.
Well, kind of. Like, so I'm lame. I'm dairy free because of my cholesterol.
Oh, is that always been a thing?
My cholesterol has been high. Well, the first time I got it checked, it was high. So that was like 2 years ago. And they're like, but it runs in my family. That's the thing. It's like I'm thin, but it runs on my family. So she was like, my doctor was like, if you don't get it down, we're going to have to put you on, I think it's a baby aspirin. I was like, fuck that. I'm going to get this shit down. And she's like, okay, well, try being dairy free. And ever since I've been dairy free, since I tried another diet and now I'm dairy free, and I've been dairy free since July and it's down.
Oh my God.
I know. But I went to Mexico last month and I was eating so much cheese. Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I don't think I could ever do dairy free. I love cheese.
It's really hard.
I love dairy so much. It's like a real issue, but that's
I had a little bit of sour. I know. I had a little bit of sour cream the other day, but that's about it.
Living large. Anyway, should we talk about the episode?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is this? Episode 3?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Is this our third podcast?
This is our 4th because we did the cast preview. And thank you so much to everyone who's reached out, like over DMs or Twitter, or like we got some good reviews on Apple Podcasts, which we were like so excited about. So
should I read them?
You can go and read them and then you can write your own.
Oh, yeah. Be inspired.
And you can rate us 5 stars and whatever. But, let's talk about the episode.
Okay.
So you just watched it, right? Like an hour ago?
Yeah, I watched that. So I finished work early and then I watched it. And then I watched Love is Blind, which we'll talk about
later.
We'll
talk about it at the end. We both finished it just so we could get that out of the way.
Oy vey. Oh my God.
So this episode starts off with Monica and her dad, who is like the cutest dad ever.
Can we talk about Simba?
Oh my God. I literally wrote Simba. I just wrote Simba. We have to talk about Simba. We have to talk about all the dogs. Why do they all have small dogs? No, wait. Amrit has a big dog. He had like a poodle.
I don't know. I can't say because I have a small dog.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say. I shouldn't judge. I just have huge dogs.
I have one big dog and I have one little dog.
Yeah, so Simba, cutie. And
Simba, and that's Simba. Remember when Simba went out to cocktails?
yes, Simba was such a good boy. And I just,
The best is like Brian was complaining that he was sweating when he picked up Monica, and if you look closely, when Monica's dad took Simba out for a walk, Simba was wearing a jacket.
oh,
It's just, but I
Brian's
was like,
sweating.
I was like, even if it's hot, Simba needs to look
Yeah,
good.
Simba's gotta represent. I mean, Monica's dad is so cute. He's like, "Do you want breakfast?" She's like, "No, I'm okay." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go feed Simba."
Oh my gosh, I love their
So
lives.
adorable. And let's see, in this little scene that we get, Monica's like brushing her teeth, getting ready to go to Taco Bell with Brian.
Hell yeah. I was like us. You know when they're on Us Weekly, when it's like
They're just
stars
like
like
us.
us. I know.
Okay, so I'm just wondering, like, she's a vegetarian. Like, would your go-to fast food place be Taco Bell if you're a vegetarian?
Here's the deal. Okay. I know we're gonna get some hate emails. I've always thought Taco Bell was garbage. Like never, even when I was a real little kid, I've never been into Taco Bell.
Oh my God.
And I know like my whole fam, not my whole family, but my brother and sister, they were really into it. And I was like my mom would go through the drive-through and I wouldn't get anything.
Well, you know what? I just don't even have an answer for that.
When was the last time you had Taco Bell?
It's a good question. I had a craving when I was pregnant.
What'd you get?
I always get like, what do I get?
Where is the Taco Bell in Boulder?
Oh my God, the Taco Bell in Boulder. At one point in time, I think it is the most visited Taco Bell in the Western United States. Because everyone here smokes so much weed and they just need to go to Taco Bell.
I'm
all
so
the
jealous
time.
of those people
I
that
mean,
can
that Taco
comfortably
Bell-
smoke weed.
The
I'm so
Taco Bell
jealous.
in Basemart is like hopping 24 hours a day.
Oh, the one by the Wendy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's like the only
Okay.
one in Boulder, and everyone goes there. It's right near campus, so all the CU students go there. It's like a whole thing. Anyway, Monica and Brian, they're going to Taco Bell. And I'm just like, if you're vegetarian, like, it doesn't everything have ground beef in it?
Oh, yeah. Or like pig fat.
Yeah. But, whatever. She's like, I'm going to just beans and no tomato. I'm like, you're going to take the tomato out? But
I know.
whatever. Anyway, not hating on Monica. Monica, by the way, she's so funny. She sent me a DM video to our Instagram of her making tea. And she's like, and I'm not using Sweet and Low because you guys told me that there's arsenal in it. So, Monica, we love you.
So, wait, is Monica substituting anything for that?
Yeah, Monica, actually, what we want to know what you were using. Honey, sugar, maybe nothing?
Splenda?
Splenda's also bad for you. I'm just going to say
Is
it.
it?
I don't know. We had this conversation.
I know.
Okay, so anyway, they're going to Taco Bell, and then Brian says that he has PTSD from the pumpkin patch because Monica kind of rejected him, which, she was like, we go out and then you like hit on all the girls and whatever. But she also reveals that the last time she told him that she liked him, he kind of ghosted on her.
I mean, just like one of those men. I know, like, for the Brian stans,
Yeah.
I just think that he's too young, and if he's gonna, he kind of thinks he knows what he wants, but I think he's too young, and he still wants to play the field. And especially, I feel like after this show, he's gonna get so much ass thrown at him.
Oh my God, he already like.
Oh, I bet.
I'm
oh my
sure-
gosh, all of our tweets are like, Brian,
I
have
bet
my
like
baby.
all these girls are sliding into his DMs.
Oh, 100%.
All these like
And-
gorgeous Indian women, if that's what he says
Exactly.
he wants. That's the other thing. It's like, it's kind of weird. And this happened in that movie, Meet the Patels also, or one of them, where like, it was like, I've only dated white women my whole life, but I want to end up with an Indian girl.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think it's like just another example of how so many of us return to like what the values that our parents kind of instill in us, even if we try and rebel against them. A lot of times we end up returning back to whatever it is that they taught us is right. And I think that's what's going on with Brian. Like his mom said, like, I want him to marry an Indian woman, and he's like doing what his mom wants.
I think it's really interesting because I think I've mentioned before that I was raised Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people that were raised Catholic go through this like phase in their life where they don't necessarily renounce the Catholic Church, but they're not spiritual or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there comes a point in people's lives where like people that were raised Catholic where they like get married in the Catholic Church and they get their kids baptized.
Yeah.
And they start kind of, which no shade, no tea, but like I never did that. Once I left the Catholic Church, my kids are not baptized. I was not married in the Catholic Church. I pretty much wanted nothing to do with the Catholic Church, but there is that thing with the Catholic Church as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that's what I'm saying is that I don't think it's just like an Indian thing. I think that a lot of people, whatever like faith or culture they were kind of brought up in, a lot of times they return to that when they get a bit older. And I think like Brian, Brian's not that young. He's 27. Like that is young. And I do think that, but it's not like he's 22 or something, It just seems like
he's not like Mark on Love is Blind.
No.
Oh God.
Oh, Mark. But anyway, so he's like, still saying I want a good Indian girl. I told Monica I like her, like this, that, and the other. And they obviously have like a great rapport and friendship. And then she takes out her coupon book.
Oh. That's when I formed an alliance with Monica in the sense it was like, that is me.
Really? Do you carry any of those things around?
Yes.
Oh my God. Are you like person at the checkout line who's like flipping through
King
the coupons?
Supers? Oh my God. And my husband thinks I'm crazy because I love clipping coupons and I love seeing on the receipt how much I save.
I know. It is gratifying, isn't it? But you can do you have the app where you can just like put the coupons on virtually?
But you can coupon coupons. So the thing is even if you get the app, so like tomorrow we have the click list, right? Yeah. We pick up Andrew, so I handed him a stack of like coupons and he's like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm like, when you go to pick up the groceries, he's like, I already did the coupons. I'm like, no, it's coupon.
Yeah, you're like, you need to get maximum savings here.
Oh my gosh. It basically gives me like a lady boner to like see at the end of the receipt, like how much I saved.
I know, because it's a great
feeling. Do you like
feeling.
Coupons?
I just don't have the discipline to keep track of them, which is why I was so impressed with her. Like, she had like a legit like planner book full of them.
I love it. That's a girl after my heart.
So, yeah, I mean, that was hilarious. And Brian seemed embarrassed by that. But Brian, you know what? If you get a wife who clips coupons, you're going to be saving some money, which is, always a good thing.
And he's saving money right now with living at home.
Totally. So then they talk about Fire Tower, which is going to be the last Diwali celebration of the year.
So is Fire Tower a part of Diwali or is it a party that is just in Miami?
I think it's just a party that's in Miami. That's like what I think that's what they call the like culminating Diwali event in Miami, which is like a funny name for it, but I guess Diwali is the festival of lights, so there must be like a tower that's on fire.
It's like the Burning Man of Miami Diwali.
It's the Indian Burning Man. Oh my God. I'm excited because next episode is going to take place at that event and everyone's going to be dressed up and it's going to be...
See, I'm always talking about seeing how they dress up.
Well, we'll get a lot of that. I mean, I don't feel like there was a lot of that this episode, or there hasn't really been in general because...
Well, I also hope that they go into like putting one of their outfits on because as someone who is not familiar with the Indian culture, I'd like to see not them naked, but I'd like to see how they get
It's
dressed.
it depends on what they're wearing. I'm sure they'll show something like that because it's always a huge ordeal. It takes like several people and whatever. But that to put a sari on. There are other things that are easier to put on, but it's so okay. So they like show a preview of the Diwali gala, and then they like quickly ask Brian, the producers ask him if he's like heard about the drama that happened at the last Diwali function with Lopa cornering his dad and like saying that Vishal was a moron and all that. And he's like, I don't want to get into it. It's between them. It's like not my thing. So
Which I
yeah,
respect.
it's true. I mean, he didn't really have anything to do with it. Like, yeah. So I feel like the whole gossip thing is kind of interesting. Okay, so that was that scene. Then we see Vishal and Amrit going to the gym together to like work on their arms together.
I love that. I thought Dylan Patel was going to be in this episode.
Who? Sean's brother? Why did
Yeah.
you think that?
I don't know because someone, again, I know Dylan's listening. So, Dylan, someone tweeted, I think maybe they were talking about your Twitter feed, but I thought they said that Dylan was working out with them. And so, like, I
Oh,
was waiting for Dylan to pop up, and then I was like, okay, cool, he's not here.
yeah. Well, maybe he was.
I mean, we are huge Dylan fans, and I feel like Dylan's now our friend, but like, and again, Dylan is Sean's
And
brother.
he. It sounds like maybe he was there, and he just didn't get like into the cut that they did in the end or something. Okay, so then they're at the gym, and then we get into this whole thing about Vishal having Crohn's disease.
I know, and I thought that was like really interesting
Do you
getting
know
to hear about.
anyone with Crohn's disease?
Yes. So, okay. So here's the story. So when I was living on my own in Brooklyn, I was living on the fifth floor and I had a crush that was on the basement floor. And I would always ask this guy out, and and he was a lot older than me, and he'd always like deny me. And it came out like he was like, the reason why I don't go out with you to these bars. And again, I was drinking heavily, but like he was like, because I have Crohn's disease and I can't even go to a bar that washes like their glasses in the same places as dishes with gluten on it or whatever.
Oh my
And
god.
so we ended up like having a drink in his apartment and we kind of talked about it.
Oh wait, does he have Crohn's disease or is he allergic to gluten?
What's Crohn's disease?
I think maybe you were thinking of celiac,
Oh, it's
which is when you're like super.
I'm so embarrassed.
Okay, well,
What's Crohn's disease?
well, they're. I can see why you made the mistake because they
Okay,
both
what's
like celiac. Like if you get sick, it's like I think you have get like the same kind of sickness that happens, but like
okay?
Crohn's disease is like it's when like your bowels are really irritated because
Oh God.
you're not like processing food correctly and I know someone with Crohn's disease and he
Okay,
like
tell me about your story.
well he like I think gluten is an issue for him but so are a lot of other things like you basically need to like eat really healthy and maintain a healthy lifestyle to keep it at bay. And what Vishal keeps saying is that like stress is what aggravates it the most for him. So like all the stress about the gala and what happened there is like really stressful for him. And one of the reasons he doesn't want to talk about it is because it like makes his Crohn's disease flare up and then he like is really, really sick. So I get that. I mean, that must be
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's
I
like,
mean, I couldn't even imagine when his mother was talking about it,
yeah.
like being a mother of someone with Crohn's disease and not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, you're like, I have no idea. So at least like he got it diagnosed. And then I saw on his Instagram he did this really nice post about like, I have it out there that I have Crohn's disease now. And like, I would just want to say that like, he says like, thank you to Richa for helping him kind of like get his act together and like start eating and drinking and like living his life, like working out a lot and stuff like that, which all helps him like not have the flare up.
Can we talk about Richa?
Yeah.
Make her fucking full-time
Oh my God,
cast
I
member. Like, this
know.
is fucking ridiculous.
I can just tell that she's cool and I want to know more.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I know they don't have like an opening sequence, but put her in the cast photo.
I bet.
I'm like up in arms about it.
Well, she is kind of like in it though, because in the beginning they're like Vishal and Richa and they like show them together, but she's like not listed as an official cast member for some reason.
And when Lopa is so, yeah, in the drama of this series.
I think it's because they don't actually live in Atlanta. They live in Nashville, right?
Okay.
Or Memphis or something like that.
Memphis.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's why, but we'll see.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I'm not trying to interrupt like the Crohn's disease stuff, but I'm like all about justice for Richa being in the cast photo.
Yes, Richa, justice for Richa, hashtag.
Hashtag.
So Vishal opens up to Amrit kind of about the gala finally. He feels like comfortable telling him about what happened, which is basically what we already know, that like Lopa Auntie talks to Chitra Auntie about Reshma Auntie. So it's all the aunties are talking about each other. And basically the whole thing is like Vishal and Richa's parents, their families don't really get along. And there's all this gossip around it. But Vishal does not know that Lopa called him a moron. So, and I'm kind of like, does he only find out like when the show airs, or like maybe we'll find out more about that?
I thought Brian, when they played golf, did Brian say that, or did he not say what Lopa said?
That's a good question. I can't remember now. I was so tired last night. I really wish.
You're an all-star for staying up.
I can't believe, like, again, why does it air at 10 p.m. here?
I know, bullshit.
It's not fair. It's a Sunday night.
I would bother Andy, but he is so busy with coronavirus.
Oh my God, Andy's got coronavirus.
I know.
Okay, so like he must have been really sick to get tested because, right? Like I'm kind of have an issue with all these celebrities getting tested and like.
I am so confused on who gets tested because especially like if you go to, say like if I go to Boulder Medical Center and I'm sick, do I get tested?
Well, I think if you show the right kind of symptoms, then yes. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's so scarce that it's like, I don't know anyone who has been tested.
I think it's funny because I was texting with a friend from high school and he was like, yeah, I can't believe we have to do this for another 2 weeks. And I was like, at least. I'm thinking at least another month.
At least. I mean, I think it's probably going to be more like 2 to 3 months. Minimum.
Because I know in Boulder, the gyms are closed and everything's closed until the 30th of April.
Yeah, and I mean, like, schools, I don't think schools are going to open up again. Like, it's a whole shit show. I know. You're going to be homeschooling. Sorry.
Oh, my God. It's so bad.
Anyway, then they, like, kind of do an aside thing where, like, Vishal and his mom, Reshma, talk about how in Indian culture, image is everything, and that, like, you really need to, like, keep up with appearances and make sure that, like, you're putting a good front for people, even if things are going badly behind the scenes. And
did you feel that way growing up?
Yeah, and I still do. It's definitely a thing in the Indian community, but, like, maybe that's a thing in every community. Like, you want to look better than things actually are. But, I mean, it is sort of... Maybe it is more of a thing in the Indian community, which is too bad.
I know I can say in the Italian American community, you don't talk about anything.
Oh, yeah. You just like shove it all under the rug as Vishal does. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so then like the conversation between Vishal and Amrit kind of gets to like Anisha's involvement, and Vishal's basically like, she's not involved in this. The only involvement is that, like, her mom was kind of in the middle of it. But, like, Anisha is not involved in that.
How did you feel about that? She's not,
I
yeah.
was kind
But
of,
I think I felt like Anisha was upset because she was texting
yeah,
him and he was not
I feel like the,
responding. Like I felt like Anisha didn't care. Like she didn't think she was involved. It was more like, "Hey buddy, like I am texting you and you're not texting me
yeah,
back."
that's kind of what it seems like it's just like a big misunderstanding. I sort of like don't even understand what the drama is, but like it
Mhm.
does, yeah, it sounds like they talk about it later. Like Vishal is like, she called me and then I told her I needed to call her back. And then like a few hours later, she was like texting me like, why aren't you texting me back? Like, aren't we friends anymore? Blah, 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 blah. And I guess he just thought that was kind of intense. That's what I was reading from what happened, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Like I feel like as a female or someone who definitely identifies as female, I actually was in the same predicament. I think I texted you. I was like, my friend has totally dumped me, and it I was texting or emailing my friend this weekend in New York, one of my best friends who's a male, and I was like, I feel like it was kind of the same thing. Like, can you respond to any of my texts? And I feel like you're not like connecting with me. And as typical female as it sounds, but it's like I text him 5 times and he doesn't text me back.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it is probably pretty harsh also for them, like, because from what it sounds like, they do talk all the time. Like, they call each other every morning and this and that. And then all of a sudden, he's just like not talking to
And
her.
I feel like I also want to mention that so it's episode 3 and that they're on this television show with cameras on them. And Anisha's probably like, hey, like let's connect on a non-camera level because this is an intense situation. And the fact that Vishal's not kind of connecting with her and they're under a magnifying glass, I feel like would if I was Anisha, I would freak the fuck out. I would be
Yeah,
pissed.
that is probably what's going on to some
Do you
extent.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So anyway, I think he's kind of reading it as though like, why are you freaking out like this? Like, I think he thought that she wanted to know like all the details about everything when like maybe she just wanted to talk.
But can I jump ahead and say when Amrit was saying it's because she
Oh
liked
yeah.
him, it kind of made me upset because I'm not trying to be like, I have so many guy friends, but as someone that has guy friends, there's so much more in friendship than just male female. You know what I mean? It
Oh
just kind
yeah.
of bummed me out that he went there.
Well, I think I also made that prediction.
That he
in
was
the
going to say that.
No, no, no. In the first, I think in one of the first episodes, I was like, I think Anisha has a crush on Vishal.
You thought that?
Yeah, but I
See,
didn't.
I don't
But
think that
it
at
wasn't like,
all.
I don't know. I was just wondering if maybe there was something there.
And how do you feel now?
I don't think so. I mean, she kind of laid it all out pretty directly, but yeah, no, I think they do truly just have a platonic friendship, and I obviously think that that's possible. That wasn't, I think, why I said it to begin with, but maybe it was. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
So anyway, that was that scene. Then we get to Bali's house.
Oh my God, Queen.
And we meet Fendi, her dog.
I
Another
mean,
small dog.
of course her dog's named Fendi.
What was her dog wearing? What was Fendi wearing? Like, I swear it had
bows in her hair.
pigtails
Yeah, it had pigtails.
and some other stuff. Definitely some jewelry, maybe. Unclear.
I love Bali.
Bali's the greatest.
I love how Bali, like, here's the deal. Like, she doesn't get her hands dirty. She just kind of lays it out there and then she walks away.
Yeah,
and lets it play out.
She's just like, I know, she's like stirring all this shit up and she's like, all right, now you deal with it.
She's like, I didn't say it.
No, but she DM'd me because in our last episode, or she DM'd us, sorry. In our last episode, we were asking, like, what's the deal with your ex-husbands? What's going on? And she sent me this message about her second ex, who the show didn't reference at all. I guess he was, all she told me about him is that he was Cuban and that he was a loser. And then she like put that like barfy face emoji.
Yeah. All I gotta say is like, hey, we've all rebounded.
You know, we've all
Every
made
girl
mistakes.
and boy are nodding our heads like, yep, we've been there.
Yeah, and so that was that. And now she's been with O'Malley for 4 years.
Okay, so
it
I
seems.
have some theories. So I think obviously Bali's a strong woman, and I'm not going to like judge her long distance, and I think a lot of people are like, why not just kind of be together and live in the same state or the same city?
Yeah.
Because he lives in North Carolina. I'm making
No,
that
he
up.
lives in Kentucky. And
Kentucky.
she told me
Okay,
why
so this
as
is my
well.
theory.
Okay.
I don't think she could handle right now having a relationship with someone that is kind of all up in her business because she's been married twice.
Yeah,
And so
she's not looking for
no,
that.
and so like I think a lot of people might be like, well, why not, like I said before, but so their relationship makes total sense to me.
Yeah, well, it turns out that that fresh cut flower business that she works for now, that's like O'Malley's business.
What?
He's like one of the biggest like suppliers of fresh cut flowers in the
Really?
Midwest. Yeah, so
I wonder if it's a family
I don't know how they
business.
met. I mean, it must be, but she was like, yeah, it's funny that they just focus on his like Olympic
Yeah.
weightlifting stuff because he has this whole other career that's like arguably more
Exactly.
like a
It's
larger
like
part of him.
producers. Hashtag producer fail.
Well,
They
you
just
know,
wanna kind
whatever.
of, like-
I mean, they were like, this is going to be interesting. We'll just show him like lifting a lot of weight. But anyway, I love that he's like the only white dude on the
Right.
or like white person on the show. But anyway, so we meet him, we meet Fendi, and Anisha comes over and she's like, she tells this story, which I just thought was so funny about like, with her mom, like they were like getting ready to like go to a friend's house and she was like getting all ready.
Oh my
And she's like,
God.
she's like, okay, get in the car. And she's like, and then we literally went across the street.
Thank you. That is so
I
perfect.
love those scenes of her.
And the mom's face was like so blank. Like, what's
She's
the
like,
problem?
that's what cars are for.
Exactly. Yeah.
So funny. Hilarious.
And the thing that I really love about this show is there's no shame.
No, everyone just lays it all out there.
Like, it's just like, again, Bali's shoes breaking when she first appears. Driving across the street.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
just
trying
like
to, yeah.
all the
Going
like,
to get Taco Bell?
yeah. I mean,
You will not see a lot of housewives. Actually, remember when Patricia went and got McDonald's? Oh, you haven't gotten to
oh,
that
no,
part.
no, I've seen that. Where
Do you
she goes to
remember?
McDonald's and she gets it served on like a plate and like, she's like,
Yeah,
no
fuck
tomato.
that.
And they're
Fuck
like, does that
that.
mean no ketchup? And she's
I
like, I
know.
said no tomato.
She's a racist. I can't stand
Oh,
her.
Patricia's the worst.
She's the worst. But like the fact that it's like, I got a coupon, I'm going to go to Taco Bell.
Yeah. No, it's totally real and I love it. So Anisha and Bali are talking and like Bali's like, what's going on? Can you talk about it? And Anisha's like, well, it's kind of like between the families, like basically saying like, it's not even about anything between me and Vishal. It's like our families. And Bali's like, oh, I don't even want to know then. But like, she really does, obviously. And I don't know. Basically, she's just like, he hasn't it's been radio silence since the gala and I don't know what happened. And then she talks a little bit more about how, like, in the Indian community, it's all about preserving your image, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of like, we get that side of the story from Anisha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they, like, show a little bit of Vishal and Amrit, like, talking about how Anisha is trying to get in the middle of things, and Amrit is, like, thinks Anisha should drop it. And it's like, Is she really getting in the middle of
I
things?
don't think
It's
she is at all.
unclear to me. I don't think she is. I feel like she's just like, hey, my friend is not talking to me.
Exactly. Exactly.
But and then another funny thing that Anisha says, which I think is just so true, is she's like, in the Indian community, like, because we're so wrapped up in our image, it's not ride or die, it's ride or lie. Which is so true. It's like,
Yeah,
just tell a tall tale and just get through it,
exactly.
just like make it happen. And Bali's like, yeah, I'm just trying to, like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of what's happening, and just like an older sister would. And the producer's like, you mean like an auntie would?
I know. It was that shade thrown at her.
A little bit, but she was like, listen, I'm not an auntie, okay? She
That's
just like, that's what I love about her. It's like, if any shade is thrown, she just throws it right back.
oh,
She
she
does not
does.
even
Yeah.
care, which is so great. All right, so then we keep going. Brian, there's like a little scene with Brian and his
I
parents.
loved that. I loved that. I think that might have been my favorite scene of the whole show.
When they're talking about the girls coming through the window.
Oh, I was more talking about when the mom is making all this noise
Oh, and he's on
Brian's.
the call.
Oh my God. If we could all be so blessed to have like
Oh my gosh.
that kind of figure in our lives.
Someone
And
like cooking, making you
yeah,
tea,
and
putting
just
your
like what do
laundry
you
away.
want? Yeah, whether it's a partner, a friend, a parent, a sibling, maybe a child, but like I don't know. I was like, this is so beautiful and
I know.
shows how much she loves him in a specific way. She loves and takes care of him.
I know. And she's like, I'm so happy to have him at home. I know that he's well fed now.
And you could see like it's been that way since Brian was a kid. Like
Yeah,
in that
totally.
scene, I didn't see 27-year-old Brian. I saw like little kid Brian and his mom.
Yeah, totally.
And I don't mean that in a demeaning way at all.
No, and he seems really happy about it too.
Exactly.
And in the little like scene before that where he's talking with his parents in the like testimonial thing, they're talking about how like he would bring girls home, like, and they would sneak in through the window, and she's like, yeah, and like there's a pair of heels in our garage that we've never figured out where they're from. So like Brian
so
Brian
funny.
is hot, right? Like
He's hot.
He definitely has gotten a good share of girls through the door, I'm sure.
And I think he looks hotter with glasses than he does without.
Have you noticed how like all of them have really thick glasses?
Yeah. Actually, no, I didn't.
Well,
no, I didn't.
A well-known
Does
thing
Bali
about
have glasses?
Bali probably got laser eye surgery. I'm gonna guess that.
Let's be real.
Because all Indians need glasses. That's pretty much a given fact. All right, so then we're back at Bali's house. This is when actually we meet O'Malley, or he's like there with Anushka, her daughter, who's just like on her phone, not paying any attention.
Yeah, that's exactly how I imagine a 17-year-old to be.
I know, and
it's going to be worse for our kids.
Oh my God. Like they're just going to be like, they're going to have like a screen in their brain by then, probably.
Yeah, they're going to tap their temple and then like just like be looking at us, but not be looking at us.
But not paying any attention.
Exactly.
Oh my God. How much screen time is happening like in America right now?
I don't know. So my kids, like I said, so my son is doing like 2 hours of school online at the moment.
But that's like educational screen time.
Yeah, but I guess, and then I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, whatever. I need to work, and they have 2 parents working, like you guys.
Yeah.
And so we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, totally. So I love how like Anushka and Bali are talking about like how Bali's not a typical parent, and she's not. Like the fact that she lets her daughter have parties at her house.
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm sorry. If I had a party at my parents' house when I was in high school, I would have been murdered. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I know. Me too. The thing is like, I don't know, do what you want, but just don't let those kids drive. But I think it's all different now than we were younger.
No,
because
there's Uber and stuff now.
And Lyft, which we did not have.
We did not have that. But then she was talking about how like they had the party there, and then Anushka was like, "Where are my friends?" And they were all upstairs, like telling Bali about all of their
Oh my
problems. And I was
gosh.
like, I totally can see that,
But
100%.
then I did kind of see the gif of like, I'm a cool mom from Mean Girls, like the Amy Poehler.
Oh, you
You know
did?
what I mean? Like I know that she probably is a quote unquote cool mom, but it did seem a little Mean Girls Amy Poehler action. And again, if Polly's listening, I love her very much, but that's what I thought of.
Really? I didn't. I feel like because then Anushka's like, yeah, and they all think she's hotter than me too.
That's really cute. Yeah.
I mean, Bali is legit like just cool, I
Well,
think.
the thing is like I could say that and Polly's just not even going to give a shit.
Yeah, she's
So,
just gonna be like, yeah, whatever. I'm amazing and I know it.
exactly.
So then she like talks a little bit about O'Malley and like their relationship, and she says this funny thing about taking him to India. She's like, it's smelly, it's hot, the food is spicy, and you're gonna get diarrhea, which is like literally, I think, the exact words that I told Patrick before we went to India.
Did he get diarrhea?
No, we were actually, as we were watching it, we're like,
Oh.
I don't think we got diarrhea that trip, and I almost always get it at least once. But we were
How
really
can I
careful
be
about what we ate.
graphic?
Yeah.
How long does the diarrhea last?
It's like the kind that's so bad that it's like you cannot be not near a bathroom
Really?
for
For how long?
like that part of it's usually what like 8 to 12 hours, but then
Oh
you
my
just feel like
God.
shit for like days and you like don't really want to eat anything and like
Oh my God.
yeah, it's because like you have to be careful about what you eat. Like you can't eat the street food. You're going to get sick if you eat the street food. So, and you can't really like eat any like fresh vegetables or anything that might have water on it because the water is contaminated. So, that's what you have to watch out for. But anyway,
Okay.
so that was that. Then we get to the dinner where
Yes.
shit goes down. So Amrit, Richa, Vishal, and Bali and O'Malley all get together for dinner. And we learned that this is so. What did you think of this? So Bali and O'Malley FaceTime each other at night and then leave it running.
That is the most wild. That is so wild.
I
That
was
is
like,
I've never heard anything like that.
I mean, it's like, so they must
Why?
like, that kind of like throws a wrench in the whole like long distance thing. It makes me feel like they're doing long distance because they have to.
Right.
Because
Right.
nobody does that.
No.
The couples who do long distance because they kind of like it, they like having their personal space. They like, it's kind of like Richa and Vishal. Like Richa's like, I don't even text. Or,
Yeah, but
like,
then there's the thing that like people don't want to share a bed. Like I have to say, sometimes I just like when I get the bed all to myself,
oh my
there
God,
is something so special about that.
so luxurious.
Like I had it this weekend all to myself and it felt like I was in a hotel. And like and we're talking even like my dog who is older and she snores and she even went downstairs.
Wow.
Yeah. Do your dogs snore?
No, but they do have dreams and like make
Oh,
little whimpers every now and then.
do they wake you up?
Occasionally, but usually not. And like the dogs don't usually sleep in our room all night. So, okay, so we're at the dinner. We learn about the FaceTiming thing, which is
That is
hilarious.
so wild.
And then they start talking about Bali's just like, all right, I need to just lay it out there. Like, what happened? Like, Anisha says that, like, you're not calling her. What's going on? And Vishal's kind of like, I didn't think that there was an issue. And Bali's like, I just want everyone to be transparent with each other. And then we, like, hear a little bit more about Vishal and the Crohn's disease thing. I don't think they talked about it at the table, but they kind of, like, remind you about that and, like, why he tries to avoid stress.
Doesn't Amrit say that he thinks Anisha likes Vishal?
Well, no. First, yeah, he does say that eventually, but he first says, like, he thinks that Anisha's just making stuff up and, like, trying to making stuff up that isn't actually happening.
Yikes. See, that's the yikes
I
moment
feel like
for
there's a
me.
lot of stuff that like we just don't know. Like we don't actually know it was said behind the scenes, so it's a
Well,
little
I think it's
confusing.
weird that they're fighting over who is closer to him. And I don't understand that concept.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, so they all grew up together, right? And like
Right.
Vishal and Amrit were absolutely like besties growing up, you can see. And that Anisha was also really close with Vishal and also best friends in a way. And like, there's some competition there. And like, it's kind of funny because Anisha and Amrit they both just moved back. So like, they probably feel like they want to, you know, kind of take ownership over that relationship with Vishal or something, or like have the better relationship. I mean, that's basically what Amrit was saying. He's like,
Right.
I'm the best friend. So then there's this whole conversation later. I thought I saw Vishal like kind of nod yes. Do you remember what
I don't
happened?
remember. No, I did not
But
see
then
that.
later it's like Vishal's like, no, I never said that like Amrit is my only best friend or
Do
whatever.
you think, okay, do you think Vishal's a people pleaser?
Yes. And I
Okay,
think
and I
it's
think
direct.
that plays
I
into
think
it.
it's directly linked to his Crohn's situation because he just wants everyone to like be happy so he doesn't have to feel stressed.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean that's basically what he was
Do we know,
saying.
is he the oldest or in the middle or the
I don't
youngest?
know. I don't know anything about his siblings.
Yeah, I think that would be like also play a factor where he stands in the family.
Yeah, I want to know more about Vishal's. I want to know more about like their other family members across the
Yeah,
board because
totally.
like brothers and sisters and stuff like that are usually pretty close in Indian culture. So like, you know, like Dylan is obviously close with
Right.
Sean, so we want to know.
It's interesting that why didn't they have Sean in this
I don't
episode?
know. I know you were missing him.
No, I like that's like the third time I bring it up. I
You're like,
honestly
where was
haven't.
Sean?
I was like, "Where's Sean?" And then we needed Dylan on camera now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, where was Sean? I think maybe Sean
I
is
have
like
no
his
idea.
story is not interesting
Oh
enough,
no.
or I don't
I don't
know.
know. The statues. We could do a whole season on the
I know we could just
statues.
talk about the statues all day. All day. But okay, so they basically are just like talking about this stuff, and then Amrit is like, "Oh, I wonder if like Anisha's crushing on Vishal," and Bali's like, like
Yeah.
that's not true, and like that's where she's like, "I need to go back to Anisha and tell her what happened
I
here."
mean, good for her.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. Like, there's definitely a bit of like stirring the pot,
Of
right?
course.
But also just making sure everyone's informed, like a good
Yeah, that's what
friend.
I totally and it's just like if someone was saying that about me, I would want to know.
Yeah, I mean, especially because like Anisha's obviously really bothered about like Vishal not talking to her at all. So anyway, we take a little break from that and we go to I think they're at Anisha's grandparents' house. And this was so funny.
Grandpa and
Anything with
grandma.
grandpa and grandma. Grandma is
I know.
also hilarious, but I mean, grandpa's obviously like MVP. They order pizza, and Anisha's mom kind of talks about how her parents helped out with Anisha a lot when she was younger. And weren't you saying that like Chitra was like super hot when she was
Oh my
young?
God, such a babe.
Yeah, total
I
babe.
I froze the screen when it was the throwback photo
Yeah,
just to get a little bit of a closer
just to
look.
be like, whoa.
Whoa, a 70 is it 70s or
I mean,
80s? 80s,
she
babe.
still looks really
Oh,
good.
yeah, they all look
I
amazing.
like, yeah, totally.
Cuz I was saying
Beauties.
mega babe when she was younger and now she's a super babe.
Totally. Yes. So then they show Grandpa like once again talking to Anisha about like why aren't you married
I
and
know.
he
So
says
good.
boys will come and grab you, which is
Is
just
that
like
appropriate for the Me Too era?
probably not, but you know what? Grandpa don't give a fuck.
She don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. He's like, I'm just gonna say it like it is.
So then she says then they kind of like reference back to the whole Vishal thing and Bali's and then Anisha's like, listen, Vishal calls me and texts me all the time. I have the like phone records to prove it.
She brought the receipts.
Yeah, and I love how she's like, I'm still on the family plan like most good Indian children. Which is
funny.
like, yes.
Are you on the family plan?
I am on the family plan.
Oh, snap.
Except, I pay my own phone bill, but I'm on the family plan so that I can get a deal.
That's awesome.
You got to get that deal. It's kind of like the coupons. Am I right?
Gotta get that deal.
Am I right?
Gotta get that deal.
Anyway, so then Anisha's like, she says, like, I feel like my Indian group of friends aren't as open, and I want to talk about my personal life and things, and I feel like she feels like she's not able to do that she's an open book.
But I think a lot of people, that's the thing, I think a lot of people can relate with that.
Yeah, in what way? Like, what about...
I just feel like, I think it's interesting because when she was saying that, I was thinking about how I have a different group of friends. I have the friends that I'm like really open and honest. And I think you only know me from that kind of friendship. But then I have like so many friends where it's just surface level.
Yeah. And it does seem like maybe there's a bit of that going on, but they've also known each other for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
Like, it's interesting, though. Like, yes, we all have different friends like that. And it's interesting that she says that that's the case with her Indian friends. And maybe that has to do with, like, image being such a big thing that you're always trying to put up this front instead of, like, really getting to the bottom of how people feel, which I think is partly why Bali's like, we need to just, like, talk about this shit, okay?
Yeah.
So, and then Grandpa's just going off. He's like, someone's going to call me Grandpa.
I know. He's amazing.
And she's like, I just want to focus on my business. She tells them she's thinking of freezing her eggs, which, like, great. And then
that went right over
Grandpa's
head.
Like, yeah, an egg will grow and then it'll come out.
Not quite.
And
not
it's like,
quite.
We're not going to go there, Grandpa.
I know. Grandpa, like, it's like the Easter Bunny. You know what I mean?
I hope Grandpa is staying safe and that no one is going near Grandpa or Grandma with any coronavirus.
I think the thing is watching any of these shows, it's just so weird watching everyone interact and be so close since we are like...
yeah, I know. I was thinking that too. Because, like, this was filmed, Diwali happens in the fall, like October, November. So this was filmed, like, not that long ago. And now it's like, what are they all doing?
I thought it was 2018. I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe it is.
Okay.
That's a good question. I just assumed that it, like, just happened.
Oh, okay. Maybe you're right.
Isn't that how they normally do stuff like that? So that they can, like...
They do, but I don't know. I look at Anisha's hair, and her hair now is so much longer. I don't know. They can write to us.
Yeah, tell us what's going on. We need to know when you actually filmed this. So then Monica and Dad, they have, like, a little thing about how, like, Monica is just, like... a true-born Indian. She was into Bollywood movies. She was into all this stuff. And she was, like, super disappointed when she found out she couldn't compete in the Miss India pageants because she wasn't actually born in India.
That's so cute.
Which is, yeah. And then she talks about, like, they show her teaching her Bollywood class. And she says something that I thought was really interesting as someone who has experienced this myself. She's saying, like, picking a career in the creative arena is, like, kind of frowned upon.
Of course.
And because, like, if you try to be successful, and she references Priyanka Chopra.
Our girl.
She's like, if you don't make it, like, to Priyanka level, then it's like, okay, when are you going to move on from this and do something else? And she's talking about how, like, careers mean a lot. And so I thought that was, like, interesting. And, Monica, I say if you want to do Bollywood dance, you should just do it,
That's what I thought. I was like, why? I don't know. I guess it's different being in the pressure, but so she has her own business. Why can't she start her own dance studio?
Well, I mean, it's risky, right?
Right.
And I think that's the biggest issue is like, well, if you do this, like if you stay in IT or whatever it is that she's doing, like HR software stuff, like that's a guaranteed job with a guaranteed income. Whereas like starting a Bollywood dance studio is like a passion project that might not go, like starting a business is hard. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of double standards for women too, but
Oh,
like I definitely
100%.
have been, you know, I am the music director at a community radio station, which is like not the number one career for Indian women. But like, you know, there was a lot of pushback from my parents like when I decided to go into the arts
Really?
and stuff like that. They were definitely like
Yeah.
unsure, and my parents still like don't really know what I do, which is like it's fine. I don't really care, but it's you know, it's definitely something that comes up for a lot of kids, especially Indian kids who live in America, whose parents grew up in India. It's kind of like this tension between like what you want to do and what
Yeah.
they want you to do. So she's
Hmm.
obviously feeling that. And she says there's pressure for Indian girls to get married before 30.
That is wild.
Which is like, I mean, I've definitely seen it in my family. Like, if someone isn't married or in a relationship, like around their late 20s or like early 30s, everyone's kind of like, what's going on with that person?
Wow.
Which is bullshit. Like,
That is
we are in
bullshit.
the 21st century, everyone. If,
I know.
like, and if Anisha, what, she's like 34, 30,
4.
like, she's my age, like,
I mean, look at Bali. She's 44 or 42.
44, I think.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. It's just the hardest thing, and again, we it's just so, I don't know, like we've talked about before, it's like to dream about getting married.
Yeah.
It's, as someone who is married, it seems so foreign to me to dream about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like,
And I know it's instilled in certain cultures and in,
well, it's definitely like an American thing. Like you always
yeah.
see these things about like, you know, like white girls dreaming about their like fairy tale weddings and all of
Yeah.
that. I mean, I even like I'm not married and I don't plan to get married, but like there was a point in my life where I felt like that was something I wanted to do purely because like it was everywhere. Like that's just what
Right.
you're told you're supposed to do. So, I mean, there are a lot of expectations in American culture. I think
A
there's a
hundred
lot in
percent.
Indian culture, and like these people in the on the show are kind of dealing with them from both sides.
And I think it's also one of those things, like I can say with like my parents passing like Catholicism onto me or trying to, it's like when your parents don't know anything different,
Yeah,
they're not going to be able to see like their children not following in their
exactly. I
footsteps.
mean, I think it's like really it boils down to like the parents just want what's best for their children, and what they think is best is not always like it doesn't always line up with like what the next generation is actually
100%.
experiencing. So that's kind of interesting, and but that's all to say that like Monica is like she truly is kind of this like perfect Indian girl, like checks all the
I
boxes.
know, and that's just like such a hard, not hard thing to watch, but just as a viewer, a hard thing to kind of like wrap my head
I
around.
know. I mean, but she seems happy, like
She does. She
in
seems happier than both you and I combined.
totally. And I thought it was interesting. They like show that like Brian is like, I want my Jasmine, and Monica's
I
like, I want
know.
my Aladdin, and it's like, you know, I think they both kind of have this idealistic version of what life can be. And I just wonder if that's actually going to turn out for both of them. Like, life is not like a Disney movie.
No. No.
It might feel like that for like 5 minutes, and then you're like, oh, now we have to deal with real life.
And I think the hard thing now versus like when I was younger and when you were younger, and especially when I was like their age, is like I didn't have all this social media influence of like projecting like this storybook fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
You
Totally.
know what I mean? And so it's like when I hear of the Jasmine and what's his name, Aladdin, I think of those two characters from The Bachelor, Ashley O and
Oh,
the person,
Ashley, I, and Jared.
Ashley I and
Oh my
Jared.
God. And they like
And
did
like,
totally end up with each other.
and that is wild because it was like Stockholm
I
syndrome.
feel,
Like
I
he,
bet they have the most boring relationship.
oh my God, he basically like married his captor, I feel like. You know what I mean? Because it's like she was just like pressuring him, pressuring him, pressuring
Oh my
him,
God.
and making him feel bad. And and again, this is off tangent, but I actually saw, was it their season or their Bachelor in Paradise?
They
I
were in
saw
Bachelor in
that.
Paradise, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like never in a million. I mean, I think that's a story that no one should know because it just shows that like I really believe, and I've said this before in the podcast, women cannot change men. Like that is the biggest myth that's in like
And vice
embedded into
versa,
our
I would
minds.
say.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of like what's embedded in women's minds is like, we've all dated so many shitheads and like so many dirtbags that it's like, oh, but like if I love him enough or if I do this, like it'll get him to change. And
Yeah.
it's like, sweetie, like, what is it? Something doesn't change its spots. A leopard doesn't change its spots. Like, there's just, you cannot convince me
Hmm.
that it will work. Like, I cannot be convinced that Ashley, I, and Jared have like this like relationship outside of like an Instagram podcast.
No. It's clearly like all like the celebrity
Tummy
aspect of
tea.
it is just like
Yeah.
keeping them together. And maybe they'll have that forever and they can just like revel in
Which is
that.
fine. And that's another modern relationship.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And we talk about people being in relationships for different reasons. And I think that no tea, no shade. Again, it's like if Jared and Ashley, I want to be in a relationship because like it makes sense and it's on a superficial level and they can get the People magazine. It's not even a cover anymore. It's more like a blog
Yeah.
story every like other week in the tummy tea time or whatever the fuck it's called.
I don't
It's
even
like
know what that is.
tummy tea time. It's that stuff that people on Instagram promote. It's like a thing that gives you basically
Oh.
diarrhea for like 3 days straight. It's basically a laxative.
Yeah, those
And
things should not be allowed.
no, I
mean,
think they're getting sued too.
yeah, that stuff is fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
If you're listening
And
to this,
like,
don't ever take that. Don't ever use that
oh,
stuff.
or if you've ever taken it, can you please write us a detailed email about what
About your
happened and when the shits came on? Because it's like was your tummy rumbling and then you like started like feeling like you had to poop and then you sat on the toilet like all night long? And if you did,
Oh my
like,
God.
I feel like you should have an outlet to talk about it too. So let us be that outlet, and if possible, we will read your email on air. If you give us permission, I would love to read about like you doing tummy tea time laxative
Oh my
on
God,
air.
Deanna, this is like the second time you've like asked for detail about diarrhea.
I don't care. I've wiped so many asses in my day having 2 children.
Dude, yeah, you just got to get real with it.
And like I've been in the process of like how many chia seeds and flax seeds can I take before like I have This is me 2 cocktails.
You know what? You were made for like Indian a podcast
tummy.
about Indian culture because Indians like
Because I'm trying to see how much flax seeds and chia seeds I can take before I shit my
No,
pants.
I think there's just a lot of openness about bathroom stuff.
Yeah. And I think like you and I think part of our friendship was formed on pop culture, but like it is basically like, hey, like, did you poop today or something?
Oh my God, I could get into it, but let's keep going.
I'm so sorry.
No,
for,
that was truly amazing. Okay.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
So-
Not to like
Yeah, the last thing that I think is interesting to talk about is there's actually a lot more.
let's
Jeez.
skip to Bali and Anisha. Bali calls Anisha.
No, but
after
I want
Amrit
to
comes
mention
over.
one thing because Vishal and Brian go golfing.
Oh my god.
And
so
Vishal-
explain
Vishal
how did he get those golf clubs?
from A-Rod.
But how did that happen?
I don't know. It was like he said like the gym closed across the street and like there was no explanation of how he actually got
no
A-Rod's
sense.
golf clubs.
Please email
Yeah,
us.
we wanna know.
FamilyKarmaCast@gmail.com.
So then what I thought was interesting was Vishal straight up asks Brian, have you ever hooked up with Monica? And he's like, no, we've never hooked up like at all. Like she won't even let me hold her hand.
Oh, I believe that.
And so that's kind of an interesting thing. I think maybe Brian's kind of interested in the like can't get it, like has never been able to.
Ugh.
But we'll see.
Which is a sign of immaturity.
Yes, it is.
No offense to Brian. I'm not saying he's immature. I'm saying, like, I don't know, emotionally wanting to, like, do that feels immature.
Yeah, I think Bali needs to sit down with Brian and like
Yeah.
give it to him straight. Just be like,
Yeah,
this is what
exactly.
life is, and like get your shit together. So then we meet another dog, Minx, at the Parvani
Which
household.
one was? Oh,
And Vishal
yes.
has that really uncomfortable phone call with Lopa Auntie.
Yikes. Double yikes. So many
Ah,
yikes during
I feel like
that.
that was edited to make her look more mean than
Okay.
she actually was. Don't you?
Okay. Well, I think both of them are right. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I can see both of
I
them,
know.
their side of the story. I
I
don't
feel so
think
bad for
no one's
Vishal.
wrong. No one's wrong, I should
No,
say.
I just feel like Vishal is really trying
I
and
know.
she's just like not giving anything back, which is like, it's just shitty to like her daughter at the end of the day because like Richa has chosen this person, whether you think he's a moron or
I
not.
know. And again, I've said this before, but like, it's the whole thing where it's like Richa doesn't need to do this, but if I was Richa, I would just sit her down and just be like, this is what's going to happen. Like, I need your support. Like, you love me, and if you love me, you have to like support this. I'm not asking you to love him, but I need you to be all in since I'm all in.
Yeah. And you know what? I bet she has had that
And the
conversation
thing
with
is
her.
Vishal has not done anything terrible, like cheat on her or like spend her money.
No,
You know
no,
what I
no,
mean?
no.
And so it was,
Well, so she did make a reference in the first episode of being like, I think he's after my money,
oh, yeah, I don't
which,
understand that because
well,
it
because
seems like
Vishal
everyone
doesn't,
comes from money.
well, yeah, except it doesn't seem like he has, no, he does work at that real estate business with his
And
mom.
I'm sure he's selling homes. If I
I
had to
mean,
guess, I'm sure the market is bopping down
yeah,
there.
like I don't think it's an issue, but she did make that comment, so that's kind of interesting. And he did like do that whole like go try to be an actor in LA thing, which she
It
seems
was
to frown
only two
upon.
years, though.
I
You know
know,
what
and
I
it's also
mean?
like that's another example of what Monica was talking about. Like anyone who tries to do anything artistic, it's like, what are you doing? Like you're just like a fuck
Right.
up. But anyway, so there was that, and then oh, what did you think of Bali's daughter's boyfriend, Chris?
I thought he was 45 years old. That's what I thought.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god,
let's be
what was it? The
honest.
beard, the beard.
I just was like, who's this grown ass man that's older than me dating this child? And Bali, like no shade, but I don't again, I see a high schooler and I think they're 30. Like I age to me doesn't make sense. You
Okay,
know?
how old? We need to know how old Chris actually is. All we find out is that he's Cuban. Maybe he's
I
45.
mean, again,
Bali tells Chris he smells good. I wrote that down. And then
can I
Amrit,
say something?
yeah.
I think I've told you, like, I am so a fan of a man that smells good.
I mean,
Like,
who isn't?
I don't know, but like that's the thing I miss living in Boulder sucks. Because like men don't wear cologne and I am such I wear perfume like every day. I am such a perfume girl and like no one wears cologne here. I mean a lot of women don't even wear perfume here cuz it's like all essential oils. Like I layer like I layer like perfume on essential oil. Like I smell
Really?
disgusting. Yeah,
I have
I
never smelled any of that on you, and I usually am
really
like really sensitive to stuff like that.
I just like love smells and there's nothing like a bad perfume is bad, but like good perfumes and good colognes. And that's what I miss living in New York is because like you'd get on the subway and someone like would be like some of my boyfriends wear cologne, but most of them didn't. But like when you smelled like a guy wearing like just cologne, it just like does something to me.
Ugh, I don't like cologne, but I like men's deodorant.
Oh, like Old Spice?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
me too. Yeah.
that just like smells like man to me.
Yeah,
So I
me
like
too.
that.
I love Old Spice. And I don't know what Andrew wears, but I love his clone too.
Well, that's important.
Does Patrick, what does he wear?
He just uses men's deodorant. He bought some cologne actually when we were in India.
Oh my God.
There was some guy, he like bought some fragrance from him and he like keeps it in a cupboard and will put it on every once in a while. And every time he does, I hate it. It like gives me an allergic reaction, honestly.
Really?
I can't deal with really strong smells, so I'm not into it. Okay, so then there's like this whole thing with Amrit and Bali. They're talking, and Amrit's like, I need to apologize. Does he say that?
I don't remember. Oh, he didn't know. He was like, I just need to kind of talk to her, and I'm not sure if it's going to be an apology.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he says he needs to own up for what he did, which was basically just like talking about Anisha, like making all these statements about her, which maybe weren't true. Like Vishal definitely hasn't chosen sides, I would say, for either one of them. Although he does seem to be like annoyed with Anisha.
I know. I don't understand that.
And like there's some piece of information that we're missing. So maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, okay.
I hope maybe in the next episode we find out more. But Bali is doing her best detective work to try and get to the bottom of it, which I totally appreciate.
She's like they said in Real Housewives of Atlanta, she's the bone collector. There was someone named Sheree, and she called herself the bone collector.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, and then we do have to talk about, so Bali tells Anisha that like Amrit said that thing about her being in love with Vishal, and Anisha just goes off.
I'm all for, like, I support Anisha. I'm like, this is so like, and I
think she was so mad.
But the thing is like it's she's just trying to get him to open up and talk to him, and the fact that people are putting labels like that on their friendship because it's between a male and a female, you know what I mean, just seemed totally out of line.
Yeah, and she was pissed. She was like, go fuck yourself, like he's the village idiot, like
I know, that was kind of,
she's like, I'm gonna throw up or vomit or whatever, like she was like,
that's
really
gonna be
mad.
Interesting, like the village idiot comment.
And then she says that comment. I wrote this down because it was so amazing.
Which one?
She says, they're just two mama's boys with small dick energy.
I know. Oh my gosh.
That was like, that is an intense thing to say about like any situation.
Your best friend.
I mean, are they friends still after seeing that?
I didn't look at Vishal's tweets, but I'm wondering. And the thing that sucks is like, are they going to be doing reunions if Andy Cohen with like the whole coronavirus? I'm not sure they are, because they should
maybe
be
they'll all
recording
just like Skype in.
Oh yeah,
they'll do a Skype reunion. I mean, they have to, right? I don't know. Maybe they already filmed it, or no, they do it after.
No, they do it after everyone sees it,
so that they can
do it like yeah, I think like close to like the third to last episode they start filming that.
Yeah, I guess. We'll see. I still want to know how many episodes we're getting total here.
Maybe they'll do a podcast.
Maybe invite us.
You know? Yeah.
We want to be
as
there.
Listeners.
Okay, so that was the episode.
Really
it was
a great episode.
It was a great episode.
Wholesome family fun.
I'm really excited for Fire Tower.
I know. Well, I'm just excited for, like, maybe we can get some closet shots when they're getting dressed.
Yeah, I hope so.
And we don't want Brian's IKEA sock bag.
Actually, can the cast please just, like, send us some photos of you guys?
Take a picture of your closet. Or just,
in your favorite Indian outfit.
Well, Anisha, like, before the premiere, she sent a couple, like, to her Instagram Live. She put a couple outfits on and let everyone vote.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, and I voted for the black dress that she wore.
She's on Instagram Live a lot, and I'm
like
it.
Really bad on Instagram.
Okay, do we have time to talk about Love Is Blind, or is this too
much?
No,
should we do a separate podcast?
Yeah, maybe we should do. Like
I do want to give some Nick Jonas, Priyanka update. Okay, so The Voice is still going on. Obviously, it was aired like probably months ago, but I don't really understand. I guess they have battle teams. I don't understand, but it said that Nick is bringing his two brothers on his battle team. Maybe it's not called the battle team, but they're going to be on the show.
Why is there a battle team?
I have no fucking
Isn't
clue.
he just a judge?
The Voice to me is like it does not pique my interest, so I do not watch it.
I don't like the only one of those shows I ever watched was like the original American Idol.
Oh, with Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah, where like Ryan Seacrest had a sidekick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That
Who
guy's
they just
bummed.
like got rid of.
Yeah, well, he's bummed. Now that Ryan Seacrest is making like $100 million.
Which I do not understand.
Remember
Why do
when
people
Kelly
like
Clarkson
that guy?
sang? Do you remember when she sang "A Moment Like This"? It was called "A Moment Like This." That was her end song.
And then she wrote "Since You've Been Gone."
No, and then they had To Justin from Kelly.
Oh,
did you ever see that movie?
Dude, that was like back in the. I want to watch like some music videos.
I was probably like 22. That's when I was like smoking pot every day, and I definitely got high with like my boyfriend at the time and watched To Justin from Kelly.
Maybe we should live tweet that. Watch it in live tweet.
Wait, I want to ask viewers.
Oh yeah, we want.
No, they're not viewers.
Listeners.
Do you guys want listeners? Are you going to say the Bollywood thing?
No, what were you going to say?
Should we watch a Bollywood and put it on Patreon? A Bollywood movie?
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Do you want to do a separate episode, like a 30-minute episode about Love is Blind?
We'll record again
later this week.
We'll have a little thing just for that because this went on a little bit longer than we thought it would. But that's just because there was so much good stuff to talk about.
Well, and I think I'm like so lonely.
I know, right? Just in
like,
my
I
house.
could talk about a 40-minute like episode for an hour and a half.
Gosh. Guys, we're going to get through this coronavirus thing together. And we hope that this podcast has given you like any sort of joy in your day.
I hope people are listening to D Nice's Instagram live dance parties at night.
Did you see that Joe Biden?
Yeah, and I was there. I was writing Oprah's Buying Out the Bar.
Well, I'm just going to say that's literally the only cool thing Joe Biden has ever done.
And Bernie was there.
Bernie?
Yeah, Bernie was there. Common was there. Flotus. Dude. Michelle was there. Oprah was there. Alicia Keys was there.
Talk about star power.
Everyone was there.
Listen.
100,000 viewers. On Saturday when I was texting you, I was like, get on right now.
I know, and I didn't, and now I regret everything.
It was my ideal playlist. Like Sheila E. was there. It was so nice. And my kids were like, tuck me in. I'm like, no. So that's us.
Just do whatever you need to do to get through it. Don't be nice to each other and stay
Tweet
home.
at us. Follow us on all the socials.
Yeah, please. Family KarmaCast with a K. Tell a friend. We
need some reviews.
We need some more reviews. We want some more listeners. We just love this show so much.
I know. We love everyone in it.
It's like really fun, and it's been really fun to interact with a bunch
and love
of you.
you all.
Yes, love you all. I think that's it.
That's it.
Namaste, bitches.